The purpose of this presentation is to present the findings of the internal and external analysis carried out by Shane Duncan and Mark Morrison for the competitive environment and the industry leader for natural gas as a transportation fuel industry. As the industry leader, we have chosen clean energy for this analysis. We will present an overview, the external environment, the five-force analysis, the internal environment, key problem areas, and our recommendations to allow continued growth and the growth of clean energy. Clean energy fuels is in the gas utilities industry. Clean energy provides natural gas solutions for transportation for the long-haul fleet, as well as natural gas vehicle conversions and infrastructure for refueling. Clean Energy is a company that provides solutions for alternative fuels for the transportation sector. They design, build, operate, and maintain fueling stations. Buses, garbage trucks, and other light and medium-duty trucks are examples of vehicles that can be operated using compressed natural gas as a fuel. Clean Energy is also involved in providing equipment for compressed natural gas and liquefied natural gas stations, as well as financing services for purchase of natural gas vehicles and the conversion for gas or diesel vehicles to operate on natural gas. The use of natural gas vehicles has steadily grown. However, it still remains relatively small, at less than 1% of the road fuel consumed. The use of natural gas in road transportation has been uneven, with some countries using natural gas more readily than others. The countries with the highest utilization rates are Argentina, Brazil, India, Iran, and Pakistan. The market for natural gas as vehicle fuel in the United States has remained small. It's primarily focused on public transportation, i.e. buses and fleets. Limited natural gas fueling infrastructure has limited expansion of natural gas vehicles to passenger cars. According to Pike Research, the NGV market will see strong growth, an annual growth rate of 9% between 2010 to 2016. The US is expected to have the highest growth rate at around 25%, followed by China and India. While in relative terms the number of natural gas-powered vehicles in these regions is small, the expected trend is for growth. With rising prices for gasoline due to the balance of supply and demand, the use of natural gas as a transportation fuel is popular. The difference between the cost of energy from oil and the cost of energy from natural gas is at an all-time highly favorable ratio. Clean Energy claims that natural gas is on average 50 cents to $1 per gallon cheaper than diesel. Clean Energy also believes that one of the primary drivers accelerating NGV adoption is the increasing price stability advantage that natural gas has over petroleum. This presents many opportunities for the use of natural gas. Purchasing or converting a vehicle to use natural gas as a fuel has to offer a quick return on investment. The growth of natural vehicles will lead to growth in usage of natural gas for transportation. Most governments have clean energy goals, incentive programs, or increases in taxes such as carbon tax aimed to reduce emissions. There have been many bills introduced that provide incentives for alternative fuel vehicles. Natural gas is also proposed as a method to reduce dependence on foreign oil and secure the long-term future for transportation fuel. However, the low cost of natural gas in the United States has been largely driven by the development of unconventional natural gas producing, such as hydraulic fracking, which has political and legal risks. Natural gas is a cleaner burning fuel than either diesel or gasoline. Using natural gas as a transportation fuel reduces the emissions of greenhouse gases and particulate matter. Chesapeake Natural Gas Ventures states that natural gas will reduce energy costs, stimulate economic growth, and enhance national security to improve the environment. Growth in the use of NGVs in the United States and other countries is dependent on changing attitudes towards alternative fuels. The lack of an efficient distribution system and cultural attitudes in favor of gasoline and diesel is a significant barrier to the growth in the use of natural gas vehicles. Natural gas can be used as a transportation fuel in either the compressed form or the liquefied form. In comparison to other alternative energy sources to power vehicles, the technology used for natural gas fueling is readily available at a lower cost. The technology is developed, but in many countries, most notably the US, the construction of a distribution infrastructure has been slow to develop. There are markets for NGV around the globe. The highest percentage of NGV use is in the Middle East, Latin America, and Asia. Countries such as Pakistan, Argentina, and Brazil have some of the highest utilization rates. Europe has had stable growth, with Italy having the largest NGV market. Russia is the supplier to Eastern Europe, and growth has been sporadic due to the pipeline issues and unstable political climate. The constraints within the industry is the lack of infrastructure for refueling and the lack of vehicles that are sold that run on CNG. This has slowed consumer response in purchasing a vehicle. The growth of natural gas vehicles is dependent on the expansion geographically of this technology throughout the country to support convenient and efficient fueling. The three competitors we have chosen to contrast with clean energy are Extern Holdings, Westport Innovations, and Chesapeake NG Ventures. There is a stalemate in this industry that will be overcome in the long term based on the increasing price of gasoline. As the price of gasoline increases, natural gas becomes more attractive as an alternative energy source. Currently, there is a limited alternative to gasoline-powered vehicles. This is a result of not having enough manufacturers providing alternative fuel vehicles that can run on natural gas, and a limited natural gas fueling infrastructure for consumers. The price of gasoline in the United States is dependent on foreign oil, will encourage the development of the required infrastructure. Clean energy is a leader in building the required infrastructure. As Piper Jaffray writes, clean energy is a key contributor to the current natural gas revolution. Clean energy's aggressive infrastructure build-out is solving a chicken or egg problem for trucking companies. Thanks to this company's 150 planned fuel stations over 2 years, trucking companies can convert their fleets to LNG without losing sleep over infrastructure availability. Today, buyers have limited fuel options, but as the price of gasoline and diesel increases and natural gas becomes more readily available, the natural gas vehicle fuel industry will mature and buyers will have more options. The current price of natural gas is very low, which makes it more attractive to customers. However, the low price disincentivizes producers of natural gas from investing in new production. As a result, production will temporarily slow unless demand increases because of a switch from gasoline to natural gas. In an article by Robert Eberhard from Fool.com, suppliers of natural gas vehicles and natural gas infrastructure are in a good position as the price of gasoline continues to rise. With gasoline prices remaining high, some people may consider converting to natural gas fueled vehicles. This sentiment has been reiterated recently in the New York Times, that natural gas has been widely embraced by industry, electric utilities, and trucking fleets, and cheaper natural gas prices have led to major expansion of capacity in the United States. In the long run, suppliers know that natural gas prices will increase, but while natural gas prices lower and there is little pressure on the price to increase suppliers, that will benefit increased popularity and the use of liquefied natural gas as an alternative fuel source. The potential for new competitors in gas utilities and specifically in fleet conversions to natural gas and the fueling market is very popular, but only a few have pursued this opportunity. From an iBiz World Industry Report, it indicates that over the next 5 years, revenues for fuel dealers will be sensitive to the trends in oil prices. For fuel dealers, diesel accounts for about 6% of the industry revenue, while sales of other fuels account for about 16% of total revenue. Other fuels are dominated by autogas, a liquid propane gas variant used in combustion engines, which has grown over the past 5 years due to increasing interest in alternative fuels. Clean energy has invested in infrastructure and is known as a first mover. According to Philip Mouse, it will not be easy for a competitor to replicate the network that clean energy is developing, and assuming the widespread adoption of LNG, there will be, at a minimum, a window of time in which clean energy should be able to avoid the kind of competitive pressure which currently characterizes the gasoline market. There is strong competition from Westport Innovations and General Electric. GE has developed new technology that allows it to connect to local utilities' natural gas lines and eliminate the need for large infrastructure investments and reduce the costs. In addition, GE and Westport have significant financial resources, an existing marketing and sales force to push its new technology. There is a large price gap between natural gas and gasoline. Based on the current analysis of price and BTU produced, oil is more than 6 times as expensive as natural gas. This high price presents a large industry opportunity for the makers of gasoline, but not customers. LNG, one of the leading alternatives to gasoline and diesel, and other substitutes such as autogas, which is a mixture of propane and butane, and also electric vehicles exist. Autogas is the greatest threat, but requires propane, which requires a large investment in new infrastructure compared to LNG. Adoption of electric vehicles will require significant vehicle design change and investment in a new infrastructure that limits the speed and scale of expansion and the use of alternative power sources. Competition within the industry is framed around being a provider of natural gas conversions for vehicle fleets, as well as building the infrastructure for refueling stations that is needed for long-haul trucking and natural gas vehicle owners. In a recent article in the New York Times by Jim Motivali, he indicated that Chrysler, Ford, and GM have recently introduced biofuel pickup trucks that can run on both natural gas and gasoline. There are more choices ahead for consumers, which will place more demand for refueling. Clean energy fuels will be able to benefit from this growing demand. Its early entrance into the natural gas distribution system may give it an advantage to shape how the industry develops. As Jim Motivelli argues, clean energy will be able to benefit along with consumers to ensure that such trucks have a place to fill up. Navstar has recently joined with Clean Energy Fuels and Pilot Flying J travel centers to locate 250 miles apart, to locate fueling stations 250 miles apart. By partnering with other companies related to the transportation industry, Clean Energy Fueling is attempting to expand and help shape the way industry will grow.